Well, after almost 10 years of video games, books, theories, and questionable fan art, Five Nights at Freddy's finally got the movie treatment, and it was alright. Like, it wasn't a total disaster like the other past notable video game movies. Hell, I can even say it's on the same level of good as the Sonic and Mario movies, but I just can't help but feel that there's some missed potential here. The movie is based on one of the most well-known video game franchises of the 2010s, and the expansive lore behind it would sure make for an interesting movie, which makes me kind of happy and upset that they stuck with a more movie-linear plot with some of the lore mixed in. Don't get me wrong, I'm impressed they're able to make an almost 2-hour movie based on a point-and-click horror game that doesn't feel boring, but it also means that you get some of the cliche moments and characters along the way that kinda drags the movie down. And it has that generic horror movie feeling that while it's not bad considering playing it safe is the best way to go for video game movies, I just wish it would have been more experimental and worked some more of the video game moments into the movie. The movie also suffers from being not as scary as it could have been. There are moments in the movie where the jump scares and mood doesn't really come off as scary as the video games. In the video games, it made use of the environment to really amp up the level of being trapped and not being able to do anything about it. And while this movie does have some tense scenes and jump scares for itself, it doesn't really hit as hard as the games, and comes off at some points as lacking or downright lazy just to try to get a scare. This might honestly be the least scary horror movie to come out this year, and I don't know if this is due to the PG-13 rating, but I have a feeling that if this movie was recut to make it more R-ish in terms of scare and kills, it could be relatively a bit better. So that's why I think the potential for the movie was kinda wasted here. But that doesn't mean we didn't get anything of value from this movie. The movie is chock full of Easter eggs, moments, and even fun cameos that really showed the people involved in making this really appreciate and respect the fans and wanted to give them a new Five Nights at Freddy's experience on the big screen, while also catering to the non-fans whose first introduction to the franchise is this movie. The actors in this movie also do a good job at emulating the characters they play. Josh Hutcherson as Mike Schmidt is really the emotional hold that helps push this movie forward and really gives a reason why he keeps coming back to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And Matthew Lillard as William Afton is a nice surprise twist villain, even though we kinda already knew he was gonna be the bad guy because he's really good at playing those characters. All the other actors also do a really good job and really help add a layer of character to the movie that could have been fine without them, but I'm really glad I got a chance to be a part of this. And while the scares weren't as scary as it could have been, it's nice to see them play out on screen. It would have been easy to recreate the jump scare scenes from the games, and we did get one of those, but to be somewhat subverted and have it play out as both tense and campy is a nice treat for this movie. And like I mentioned before, the lore moments mixed in here will make the fans happy and the non-fans drawn into the bigger story of the franchise. So even though there are some issues with the movie still tries to offer fans something new to the franchise and be respectful enough to deserve to be called Five Nights at Freddy's. I like the movie overall and honestly can respect it for what it is, even though there is missed potential here. And like I said before, I wouldn't be against the idea of an extended or director's cut that could either add or alter scenes to make the overall mood more scary than it was. In the end, this movie is a love letter to FNAF fans for their support for almost a decade, and while I feel more could have been done, I am fine with what we have currently. It tries stuff that works and other stuff that doesn't. Simple as that. I'm not going to be overtly critical of it because what would that do? Fans love it, non-fans like it, it's going to make its money back, and there's going to be guaranteed sequels down the line. So yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's may not have gone as far as it could have, but it still does enough to be passable. And honestly, that's all that matters. But if I can offer one more criticism, it's the missed opportunity to have a post-credits scene be a Freddy jump.